It's the Bulls Podcast, Episode 1.
The Chicago Bulls select Wendell Carter Jr. from Duke University.
The stars aligned, and there's an opportunity presented itself, and it just fit perfectly. So the contract, was, took care of itself, but it was more like the stars aligned. There's no better way to start off with a team that you can grow with, especially being so young and guys that's my age. We can see each other build memories, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
Hey, Bulls Nation. Welcome to the Chicago Bulls Podcast. The Bulls Podcast, the official podcast for the Chicago Bulls fans. It's where we'll be bringing you the latest news, reviews, rants, and opinions on the players, coaches, and front office of the Chicago Bulls. I'm your host, Marcus Couch, and with me, it's my great honor to welcome my co-host coming direct from the Radical Creator Studios in the heart of Chi-Town. It's Wise Black.
Yo. What's up to all my Bull lifers out there, man? Hey, yo, as my man Marcus said, I go by the name Wise Black, and I have a YouTube channel dedicated to Bulls content. And I have some people who ask me why I started the channel, and I just let them know it's because there would be times where I wouldn't hear just current news about the Chicago Bulls, even at times like this during the off season. And I just wanted to be that sliver of hope that would give us something to look forward to come the next season, and just more and more content apart from what we get from articles and things such as that. So I'm really happy that my man Marcus reached out to me to do this podcast. I'm super stoked, and I'm just ready to get the ball rolling, man. Let's go.
Just a brief aside as we get started here on episode 1. I just kind of had one of those moments that bands get when they look on YouTube and they find their new replacement singer or guitarist. I had a vision for this podcast, and I've been sitting on this domain, Bulls Podcast, for at least 5 years, waiting for the right person to come along. And I was looking at something. I think I was looking at Zach LaVine stuff, and yours just popped right on after it. And at the time, you had only a couple hundred subscribers, and man, you've blown up since. And it's no shocker as to why, because you do great, good content. So I'm glad that we talked then, and I'm glad that you're here now. This is not a technical workshop here in terms of what's going on in the start of the podcast. We want to get right to the latest news and reaction of the Chicago Bulls. So let's get started. All right, let's talk about the Bulls draft picks. Man, there was hype, and you and I even talked offline who we thought they were going to pick.
Yeah.
Not hype about MPJ, some of the other things, trading up. I don't think we ever even really got into the conversation about trading up. But man, Wendell Carter Jr. and Chandler Hutchinson. Now, what was your reaction when they picked Wendell Carter Jr.?
Man, okay, so I have to be honest. I went to the Doug Tonis Bulls draft party, right?
Yeah.
And when it came time for the Bulls to select that number 7, I was just knowing that they were gonna pick Michael Porter Jr. I was kind of hoping that they picked Michael Porter Jr., but when it came out that they picked Wendell Carter Jr., man, I was yelling and I was screaming for my displeasure. I was not pleasured at all by the pick. I can't lie.
Can you just address what were your thoughts on Michael Porter Jr., and did you feel like he was too big a risk at number 7?
Well, first of all, we spent some time with Mike. He's a great young man, and we're not going to talk about things medically, those type of things. We go through a very diligent process every single year, and this year we had probably more debate and dialogue as a staff than we have, because the varying degrees of opinions were really strong. So we hope Michael. I mean, we hope we wish him the best out in Denver.
First, I thought their answer was pretty diplomatic when they were in the press conference about the draft. They were basically like, yeah, we saw his medical records, and he's a really nice guy, and we wish him really a lot of luck.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what?
You knew something was up, right?
Exactly. And you know what? That's why I couldn't be mad. Like I said that before. Like if the front office doesn't pick him, then I know that means that his medicals didn't check Garp out, right? Like because if everything did look good and if everything did go well, medical wise, I think they would have grabbed him. I definitely think they would have taken him. And obviously, looking at him having this second back surgery just a couple of weeks ago, Garn Pax were right, man. And Michael Porter Jr. is 6'10". Usually, guys that are that big, those back injuries, they kind of stick with them, man. They don't go away that easily. So we have to applaud them with that one.
Take that Fire Garpax sign down. Take him down, people.
Is it still up? Is it still over there on Lake Street?
I don't think so, but I'm sure people still got them in their rooms and in their
I know I have
avatars. Yeah.
But I have to say, I have to put my foot in my mouth, man. This kid, Wendell Carter Jr., he looks amazing. If you ask me, even comparing him to the likes of like DeAndre Ayton, Mo Bamba, get him out of here. He's blowing him out of the water. And even guys like Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I don't want to get too hyped up just because this was the summer league, so I'm going to pipe myself down. But this kid just looks like he has everything. He looks like he's ready for the NBA right now. He has all of the intangibles, and he looks like he's just poised for the NBA. When I watch him on the court, he doesn't look like he has the nervous jitters, and he looks like he's just been there and done that, man. I'm really hyped about Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah, you got to be careful in Summer League because if we were really basing NBA careers on Summer League, we'd all be rooting for Denzel Valentine, to be an MVP by now, right?
Exactly.
He's Summer League king, but man, he hasn't done anything since then. Nothing.
Sad.
With the 22nd pick in the 2018 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Chandler Hutchison from Boise State University.
Chandler Hutchison played for Leon Rice at Boise State, a four-year player who developed over the course of his career. I was talking to Leon Rice about Chandler earlier this week, and he said that after a practice during his sophomore year in which Chandler averaged about 6 points per game, Leon, you see him hugging Chandler there in his notebook that he keeps after every practice. We have to get Chandler to find his hidden treasure and his talent. Boy, did they ever do that. He came back 20 points per game this year. The Bulls were the ones that have been talked about to give him a guarantee at 22, and they pay it off by making the pick.
Well, what do you think about Chandler Hutchison as a pick for 22? It was kind of like in the bag for him. I think somebody within the organization probably communicated or promised his agent or something that we were going to pick him.
For sure. And they tried to make it seem like that wasn't the case, but clearly we all knew. Like, no one was surprised when Hutch got picked, right? But I have to say that I was happy. Just watching some of his games at Boise State. I really thought that he was a really nice prospect. I like the way that he ran the floor. I liked his rebounding skills. And actually watching him in the summer league, to my surprise, he actually is a really good passer. I didn't see that from him at Boise State. I don't know if it was maybe because he didn't have a lot of help there, but that was a pleasant surprise.
He led Boise State in every single category, right? His last year. There was really nobody to pass to.
Yeah.
Off the backboard. That's about his best option. Jeez. Yeah, so, Hutchison, I think if you break that out, it spells Hutch is on. I think that's going to be a meme this year.
Hutch is – that is nice. That is dope. I like that. You guys like that? I like that one.
Let's see if we can get that working. Come on, Chandler. Let's have that work. We did free Bobby Portis one year. Remember that? Nate Robinson and Carlos Boozer did Hold That.
The Booze Cruise.
Yeah. They should have been holding on to their money knowing their careers was about to end. But anyway, let's dive into Summer League. So, Wendell Carter Jr., expanding on this a little bit. I mean, man, he shocked everybody I don't think anybody ever expected that. 15 points a game, 9.4 rebounds, 3 blocks per game. Oh my God, that soul-stealing block against the backboard that he had.
Yeah, that was.
I think Charles Oakley was the last guy I saw do some stuff like that. Who have we had do that? Joakim never did that.
No, I've never seen Joe. I've never seen Joe do that one, man. That was amazing, though. That was amazing. I think the first time I actually saw someone do a two-handed block like that was Kenyon Martin.
Yeah.
I think it was in I forget who they were playing, but I know it was the year that the Nets went to the championship. I think, what was that, way back in, what was that, like 03 or something like that? I forget. But that was the first time I saw that, and I was amazed by that block. And to see Wendell Carter Jr. pull that off, I was like, okay, this guy is legit, man. Like, and that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm so hyped about this guy, man, because you just don't teach stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't teach two-handed blocks. Come on. Yeah,
he's a beast. I can't wait to see what nickname we come up with for him. It's going to happen as the year goes on. We're going to have to come up with something. So Hutch is on. He was on for a little while. He averaged 11 points, 7 rebounds, though I noticed he was kind of too willing to pass sometimes, maybe.
Yes.
But, he seemed like he was running the show at Boise, but maybe he was a little hesitant at this level, but I think he's going to move along as things progress, No,
definitely. I think that it's the level of competition change that kind of was the difference for Chandler Hutchison. I think when he came and he was playing in this year's Summer League he tried to kind of stick to that role that he had at Boise State, but he saw that he was playing with players that were a lot more talented. So I felt like he tried to step out of his element a little bit, and he was a little bit too passive. He passed up on a lot of open layups that he should have just taken the shot for. But I think he's definitely gonna get that in order. And I also, one thing with Hutch too, I think he definitely needs to tighten up that handling, that ball handling. I saw him getting ripped.
Yeah, he had a couple drops too.
Yeah, exactly. Where he just lost the ball, right? But I attribute that to just the nervous jitters, man. I think that he's going to together once they start running a real system with Fred and everything like that. I'm hoping that they do. I believe
from the draft to Summer League, what was it, a week or two? Not even?
Yeah, exactly, man.
It's like, here, man, here's your uniform. Get in there.
They were thrown to the Wolves. Yeah.
But they did good. And then the star of the entire team, thank God this is his last Summer League. AB Smooth, I like to call him. Man, I love the man. He's awesome. So he averaged a team best 21 a game. He had as high as, I think, 25 or something in one. Man,
no, actually, I think he had 32 in one game.
Did he have 32?
Yes,
legit. So he's improved a lot in his passing, but he just stands there and waits for the ball to come back to him when he passes the ball. That's the biggest thing that I saw.
A little Russell Westbrook going on there.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man, just move around, shift around, set a screen, set a pick, do something.
Yeah,
but. Come on. I mean, we kind of saw this at the tail end of last year where he was a little microwave, right? Little Vinnie Johnson syndrome coming on here. He was a little Nate Robinson in him. He was just kind of that guy who could just pick it up and lay it in the hole. And any way you can do it, man, the guy's got some lift. He can jump through the building. He's really tricky in terms of body movement, getting his shot up. He's got it all. So he's just got to develop. And I hope he gets some time, maybe in front of Denzel Valentine. Who knows?
Oh, man, things have not been boding well for Denzel. But to stick to AB for now, I felt like it was a long time coming. But you know what? As a matter of fact, I felt like it was a very humbling experience for Antonio Blakeney. Just, sticking in the G League and having to grind his way into the NBA. I feel like now that he actually is in the league, he won't take it for granted. Like I feel like some players do. I think that he's going to actually take his craft seriously, and I think he's going to actually make his minutes count, man. I think he's really going to listen to Fred and try to be a team player because he does have a lot of talent, man. He has a lot of scoring talent. I really like his first step, his burst. He has really good athleticism as well. He can actually boom it on some people from time to time. And he's just a fill him up, man. He's just a filler-upper. I think
didn't he play with Ben Simmons, right?
Exactly. And you know what? Ben Simmons kind of he took the show from him. You know, he was in Ben Simmons' shadow. And plus, I in my opinion, I didn't think that the coach was that good at LSU. So, you know, that there's a factor there. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what AB actually looks like in this coming year.
Any other impressions of Summer League from any other teams or anything like that?
This kid, Kevin Knox, man. I think a lot of Knicks fans were pleasantly surprised. If you watched the draft night and you saw it was the same reaction as Kristaps Porzingis when he was called up, right? And I think that sort of plays well for New York fans. I think that now every year, every draft year that they have, they're just going to boo the player that they pick. And he's going to turn out to be a really promising player. He's going to turn out to be a lot better than everyone thought. I think that they're going to stick to that because it's turned out that way for the past 2 seasons. Although, like we said, you know, it was just Summer League, but I don't see Kevin Knox not being a really nice player. I think he's actually going to come in and start next season. I
was interested to watch Trae Young playing for Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think it's a mixed bag. I'm actually kind of glad we didn't take him.
Oh, yeah, me too. You know what? Going back to the Wendell Carter Jr. Conversation, I kind of wanted Trae Young over him too. Like, like I was just hating on Wendell Carter Jr., man. Yeah. I apologize, bro.
I know. I feel the same way because I wasn't really sure until Summer League happened. Look, we'll close out the Summer League and the draft conversation by saying this. We weren't going to get a top 4 without a trade up, right? And there's no way, and you didn't want to give away any pieces. Exactly. I was worried they were going to do some kind of weird sign and trade with Zach LaVine or give away something or, you know, it's like I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Thank God they sat on their hands. They put the phone off the hook and they didn't do anything. They just picked the best guy on the board. And I think that we stole him. I really do.
I agree. I think that in terms of like moving up, I think that they could have moved up and like tried to get Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, who do you think that they were going after if they would have moved up? Because remember, in that press conference, they actually said that was an option. Who do you think they wanted?
Bamba. I think they wanted Bamba all the way.
Yeah, true. I even heard them being interested in Marvin Bagley, man. Even though I don't see how that would have fit with Lloyd Marketing. Like, I wasn't a fan of that one, but I was hearing rumblings that the front office liked Marvin Bagley. But yeah, glad that didn't happen.
Well, that's it for the new guys. Let's pick it up in our next segment. All right, the Bulls did quite a lot this year in free agency, picking up some local talent here. First, the thing wise that we are all looking forward to, what's going to happen with Zach LaVine? What's the number? Is it going to be too high? Can we maybe do a sign-in trade? Who's looking around? You know, Sacramento had an offer sheet for him, and they kind of did us a favor because they built into the deal something that is kind of an injury clause, and Zach kind of feels just like he's over this injury, and he wants to do this moving forward. So what did you think of the deal itself?
You know what? Initially, I didn't like it just because I was on the side of, you know, giving him something like a 2-year prove-it deal, something like what Jabari Parker has now. Yeah. That's the side of the fence that I was on. But in all actuality, like I tell people in today's NBA, players get paid off of potential, you know, because I hear a lot of people saying that what has he done? He hasn't proven anything. He sucks on defense, this, that, and the other. But you have to remember that Zach LaVine is only 23 years old, not to mention that he nearly put up 20 points per game during his years in Minnesota. And also the 24 games that he played for us last season, that was just a small sample size, man. So you can't really judge him based on that small sample size. So it's not a bad deal. And also you mentioned that they have that stipulations about just if he has some sort of injury or something like that, then then the Bulls can maybe not pay him some of that money. And I think that that's a good thing as well. So it's not that bad of a deal when you really look at it, in retrospect. I don't think it's that bad of a deal.
No, I think we got to, I think that's market value. And obviously the Kings would have paid for it. But, man, the Kings, they are deal wreckers. Their draft picks don't work right for us, right? Flip the way that they're supposed to go. Their trades suck. It's like, God, man, I don't know what it is with those guys. But hey, on Zach LaVine's front, Vincent Goodwill did a pretty great one-on-one interview where Zach LaVine revealed quite a bit, including the fact that he wants to be one of the lead Bulls to bring them back to a championship. He wants to be the guy. And in his words, he wants to be great. So let's take a real quick listen to an excerpt of Vincent Goodwill's Zach LaVine interview on NBC Sports Chicago.
I think it comes with competition, within. Like, that's personally, everybody wants that. And, that's something good for the team, I think, because it's going to bring the best out of everyone. Media don't put their own thing to everything either way. So I think it's for us to figure that out. And, the best is going to come from, who rises from that. But I feel like it's going to rise us all up, because if we're all trying to be the best, then, obviously, that's going to result in something good.
I mean, a mutual respect is going to develop within that competition, right?
Easily. And then you'll figure out what you can do or what he can do and what, what we need to work out or what he can help with. So it's, it's going to be fun.
I mean, do you want to be the guy? Is that something that kind of...
obviously, that's what you work for. I put all this hard work in, not to be second fiddle. Not saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of successful Hall of Famers that was second fiddle. There's other people are second option, third option. But, that's, you come here, you put all this hard work in. That's what you want.
All right, so Wise, what do you think of that? What do you think of Zach saying he's ready?
Before they got Jabari Parker, I was actually all for it. I actually kind of had faith in Zach LaVine coming in next year and being the best player on the Bulls. And I know that may not be a popular take just because Lauri Markkanen is looking like the best player right now, but I feel like Zach LaVine is a very motivated guy. I think that he has a huge ego, but in a good way. And I just thought that he would come in and actually prove to everyone why the Bulls picked him up in that Jimmy Butler deal. But now that they've signed Jabari Parker, I think that they're kind of going to clash, man.
My take is this, and I saw that interview, and then I went, is he the man? Mm-hmm. And then I went back and I watched the highlights of the Bulls versus the Minnesota Timberwolves when Jimmy and Taj and everybody came back and played in the United Center. Zach went off for 35, had the game-winning steal, right? Game-winning free throws at the end when Jimmy fouled him on the three-point line. Can he be the man like that? I think he can. He's just got to rise to the moment,
There you go.
Next, we got Jabari Parker. Man, this one shot out of left field for me. Were you surprised?
Very, man. I was very surprised. Even when the talks started just about, Jabari Parker not wanting to be in Milwaukee anymore, I didn't think that the Bulls would be interested. I really didn't. I didn't think that they were going to call Jabari Parker up, but they actually did, man. So we have to see what happens with it.
So coming back from 2 torn ACLs, which is the scourge of every Chicago Bulls fan out there. Jabari coming back suffered from the rise of Giannis in Milwaukee.
He did.
And it's just, that's the problem. He just became second fiddle there. He's going to move over to the 3 for the Bulls, which again, you said that may cause clashes. It may not. I don't know if he can make that switch back to what he did in his college days. It's an interesting proposition.
Exactly. And even speaking about, just him playing second fiddle to Giannis, I think that's kind of what hindered his game too, man. I feel like Jabari Parker kind of let his ego get in the way a little bit, and it wasn't his fault necessarily, having the two knee injuries that hindered him from like reaching his full potential. But I think that he was a little salty, if you ask me. I feel like Jabari Parker wanted to be the best player on that Milwaukee team because he was the number 2 overall pick, right? Giannis was like number 15, if I'm not mistaken. So it just wasn't a good look in Jabari's eyes of me. Speaking about him sliding down to the 3 for us. Now, I don't know about this one just because of Jabari Parker's size right now. As I said before, I think that if Jabari Parker could slim down some, I think that would play out really well for him. I think that he'd get quicker on his feet, although he's really, really quick on his feet for a big man. I will give him that. But for about 85% of Jabari Parker's career in Milwaukee, he played the 4 position. And obviously, those guys are a lot slower than guys such as LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Paul George, players who he's going to be sticking, who he's going to be playing against. So I think it would really bode well for Jabari Parker to slim down if he's going to play some 3-ball for us. And as far as his offensive game and everything like that, I think that that's going to be up to Coach Fred Hoiberg. I think that Jabari Parker he actually has some really nice tools on offense, but it's just all about how they're used, just from an X's and O's standpoint.
So the deal is $20 million a year, 2 years. It's 1 year guaranteed. Second year is a team option. Totally protects us as far as if he is not going to perform the way that he should in year 1, we can get rid of him for year 2, free up a lot of cap space. But this deal is still cap friendly because it does allow us to sign somebody for a max deal next year when the cap goes up. So
Yep.
If Jabari goes off, then we can get him a running mate to play with Lowry and the rest of the guys. That's going to be fun. Then you fast forward to the press conference, and you get a question to Jabari about Derrick Rose. Let's listen to that clip real quick.
John Greenberg from The Athletic again. I know you had your own career and stuff to worry about, but as a Bulls fan, what did you think of kind of the rise and fall, like what happened with Derrick and seeing how high he went and then kind of how low things got? How did you look at it from afar?
I mean, Derrick had no lows. He didn't, because he still maintained. And, Derrick is a legend, no matter what. Like, I don't like how you explain that.
Oh, I meant like just how the injuries and stuff.
No rise and falls. Injuries is a part of life. Everybody has an injury. It's either athletics or normal life. But Derrick is, he's one of the best players to ever play the game and one of the best icons in Chicago. So he accomplished his duty already. So, yeah, Jabari is having no disrespect for his hero, Derrick Rose. I think, you know what? It's funny that I think brought a tidal wave on Twitter and everywhere else of love for D Rose.
It did, man. It did.
You forgot, man. He was a legend, and he still is. And he's still, man,
Derrick Rose was a god in Chicago, especially during that 2011 MVP season. Like, I feel like Jabari Parker was right in his defense of Derrick Rose. And I feel like that reporter, he kind of tried to draw some sort of a parallel there. Like, and it's kind of how I looked at it, just because their careers are sort of playing out similarly. With Jabari Parker having his knee injuries and everything like that, him coming out of high school, college, being the top prospect and, having a really promising early NBA career. And, now he's kind of fighting for his basketball life in a way. So it kind of was a cryptic question, if you ask me. So I think that was another reason why Jabari Parker was so defensive,
Yeah, the one thing that I liked out of that answer was he said injuries are a part of life. There's no highs or lows.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you're an athlete or just a construction worker or a normal person going about your day, injuries are a part of life, and you pick up and you move on. And that was pretty inspirational. I like that about him.
For sure.
But then he gets on a radio interview even though, you said it, I said it, everybody, reporters said it, they asked Fred about it. Jabari, are you going to play defense? And here's what he said.
I just stick to my strengths, look at everybody in the league. They don't pay players to play defense. There's only two people historically to play defense. I'm not going to say that I won't, but to say that's a weakness is like saying that's everybody's weakness. Because I scored 30s and 20s on a lot of guys who say they play defense.
Players don't get paid to play defense.
I guess that's just the way it is nowadays, right, man?
Yeah.
That like, he's not lying, is he? Like, he isn't lying.
No.
In a way, he isn't lying. You have players who do get paid for their defense. Players such as Marcus Smart, who just got paid. Who's the shooting guard for Oklahoma City?
Yeah.
I forget his name, but like he's a staple defensive player on their team, and I think it actually hurt OKC last year not having him there. But defense, you definitely need defense. But Jabari Parker, with him saying this, it just showed me that that's not a priority of his, man. I thought that our defense was going to suck come next season. Now, right. I kind of know it, man. I kind of know it, man. But I'm hoping not. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping not. But with Jabari Parker saying stuff like this, Fred Hoiberg is definitely going to have his hands full on the defensive end.
Well, that brings us up to our next player who, hey, man, if he steps up, we've talked about him before, he might be Defensive Player of the Year. Antonio Blakeney. My favorite player. So, yeah, he got a 2-year minimum contract with the Bulls. Even KD himself, and I don't mean Chris Dunn, I'm talking Kevin Durant, tweeted that there's no reason that Antonio Blakeney should be still on a 2-way deal or even in the summer league. Like, it's ridiculous. Thank you, KD. I'm around to tweet other things for us on behalf of the Bulls fans. Maybe that's a service that he can provide later on. Okay, we also got Antonius Cleveland from Atlanta. He was claimed off waivers. Played for several teams, including Golden State, Dallas, Atlanta. He hasn't seen much action in the NBA so far, just kind of played garbage time at the end of the game, but he's super athletic. Have you had a chance to check out Antonius Cleveland yet?
Yeah. I saw him play a little bit during the game when they played us in the summer league. What really popped off of the screen when you watched him was obviously his athleticism, right? With a player like him, I can see him coming in and just doing all of the garbage stuff, hopefully, because usually when you have athletic players, even if he doesn't have a shot, I didn't really see that from his game. But even if he doesn't have that shot, at least he can be the garbage man. He could dive for those loose balls. He can go for those offensive and defensive rebounds. He can play help defense. You know what I mean? So I really think that it was a good pickup, even though his numbers don't say so. But when you look at him play, you can see why the Bulls were interested in him.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, he's one of these guys just like Antonio Blakeney. Man, we got to be a meme factory. Like, we got Antonio and Antonius. They're like the Ant brothers, right? You can call them something like that. But yeah, these could be those guys that dive on those loose balls, man, that just totally change the tone of a game around. Especially United Center. I mean, we've seen hundreds of those things going on throughout the years. Hopefully these guys got it. And then you got Rawle Alkins from Arizona. He and Lowry played 37 games together at Arizona. Lowry was pumped up on social when he was retweeting all this. So the pair of them known together in Arizona was called The Savage Life. And Alkins explained it. Let's play a clip of this right here. This is rare. This is Lowry and Rawle in college talking about the Savage Life.
Tell me about Savage Life.
I was just about to say Savage Life.
Tell me, what is Savage Life? Is it just team motto?
You have to ask Rawle from that, because
why do we got Why we have to ask Raleigh about Savage Life?
Everybody got to ask him about that.
Everybody asked me. He was the one who started it.
Okay.
I mean, it was in my sophomore year playing basketball. We were savages. So I just said Savage Life, and then I used to just hashtag it on my Instagram pictures. And then I loved the way it looked. And then Lowry started to use it.
Even before I came to Tucson, I was just going through your Instagram and there was Savage Life. I was just thinking, what's that?
It was in my bio on Instagram.
So I wanted to start that right away.
I think if you look at the definition on the dictionary of savage, it would say, it would say...
Don't ask me.
If you look at the definition, I think it would say like just beast for beast. So, I always take that approach on the court. And, you got to be tougher guys on the court. Lowry's a tough beast. Duson's a beast. Keanu, everyone's on our team's a beast. So we just say savage.
It's a movement.
It's a movement. Join the movement.
All right, well, maybe we're going to get rewarded with Lowry taking it up another notch. I know that he's already using the hashtag Savage Life when he's talking about it. I think this might be a new Bulls meme. It might be the new hold that or whatever you want to use. The Bulls haven't had very many good things besides free Bobby Portis. So Savage Life, what do you think?
I think it's fun, man. I think it's something that the fans will really latch on to just because it kind of explains Chicago, right? Just the grit and grind. You know what I mean? Savage Life. It reminds me of the Derrick Rose Bulls with Nate Robinson, Joakim Noah, Ronnie Brewer. Just the hard ball. Just a hardball style of basketball. That's what it reminds me of. And I think that is something that the fans can definitely latch on to. It's fun. I can see like posters in the stands with Savage Life with like Lauri Markkanen's face next to it or something like that, with Raleigh getting pumped or something like that. I like it, man.
Yeah, so Raleigh, hopefully he's got a two-way deal, so hopefully he can make something happen out of that and actually get some playing time on the real team. We may not see him this year, but it's a multi-year deal, I believe, so he's got another year to go. If you want to see the full context of that clip with Raleigh and Lowry in Arizona, just go to bullspodcast.com/savagelife and it'll take you right to it. All right, let's talk about some of the Bulls that are no longer. These are the Bulls' departures. Jerian Grant. The Grant brothers. The Grant, Uncle Horace Grant. Jaren gets to follow in your footsteps and gets sent to Orlando. He's on a 3-team trade, and he did okay last year. 8.4 assists, 4.6. 8.4 points, 4.6 assists, 2.3 rebounds, almost 1 steal. Started 60 games, so he'll do okay. And he's going to do battle actually with another guard of ours. Remember DJ Augustine? Mm-hmm. Those two are going to be battling it out. So we'll check those guys out in Orlando when those come around. Did you have any fond memories of Jaren Grant? I didn't really.
Man, I'm trying to think of some.
See?
You know what? Let me not bag on Jerian Grant too bad.
No, he was solid. He just didn't have any, I don't remember any 40-point games, 30-point games from him.
No,
maybe there was, but
nowhere near.
I don't remember a game-winning shot. Nothing.
It never stood out, right? Because Jerian Grant actually had I believe he had a couple 20-point games, man, and a couple games where he actually almost put up a triple-double. He was a little bit of a stat stuffer, but I think the thing with Jerian Grant, it was just his style of play. I really was not a fan of his style of play, man. On the passing side of things, I felt like he was way too safe. He would get assists, but it would be really easy assists, on a fast break or, off of a handoff or something like that. He would never throw a dime where you would be oh, that was a nice pass. You know what I mean? And he would just get his points kind of in garbage time when it really didn't matter. And I don't know, Jerian Grant just wasn't a sexy player to me, man.
Yeah, and he's got to go against
that stood out.
He's going against DJ Augustine, who we know, man, that guy has a bounce pass like nobody. Remember him and Joe just tearing people up? God.
DJ was nice. I actually liked DJ Augustine when he was here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a scrappy dude. He can play.
Speaking of guys who may be scrappy but can't play, Paul Zipser out of here. Back in June, Paul did this interview with a German newspaper saying that he'd probably not be back in a Bulls uniform. And thankfully, Paul, you're a psychic because your prediction finally came true. Too bad you couldn't predict any free throws in the process. So far, nobody has picked up Zipser in free agency. This is probably the last that we'll hear of Paul Zipser. What do you think, Wise?
It's sad, man. It's sad for Paul Zipser just because I actually liked him in his rookie year, man. He was a player who didn't do anything great, but he can do everything okay. He was average at everything. And you know what? That's probably the reason he's looking to be on his way out of the league now. Just because he doesn't have that one thing that he's great at. You know, you have certain players who have that one niche, and that's kind of what gets them paid, right? That's kind of what keeps them on the roster. But with Paul Zipser, he never honed any skill, you know?
Yeah.
And come this season or just this past season, he really digressed. And he blamed it on this whole rebuilding season and everything like that, but it's not necessarily true, man. This guy played like 54 games, so that's a huge sample size. It was just on him, Paul. He didn't improve. It was his fault.
What? And he never yelled when he never yelled when he dunked. All the
never had the fire, man.
Come on, man. All the great Chicago big guys yell when they dunk. Look at Taj. Great yell. Great dunk yell. Right? Joakim Noah. Great yell. Yeah, Boozer.
Boozer even yells.
Boozer would yell when he made a free throw. Come on. All right. Finally, Ryan Arcidiacono. Oh, man. He had a great time in Summer League this year.
Archie.
Good. You know?
Yeah.
But they had to let him go. They had to make some room. But I'm sure we're going to see him around the league for the next few years. In his time with the Bulls last year, he played 24 games, 12.7 minutes a game, 2 points, 41.5% free. Field goal percentage, 1 rebound, 1.5 assists. He was also seen throughout the season in the G League. Yeah, okay. Ryan was good, but not good enough, right?
Not good enough. Yeah, pretty much sums that up. Just not good enough. I really liked him personally, but just not good enough.
And then, questions that I have for the rest of the team. Why have we not dumped Cameron Payne yet? CP22. Why not?
Okay, I get why a lot of people don't like Cam Payne. It's because he's kind of a goofy guy. He dances, and when he was wheeling himself around on the little scooter thing, he was a joke. You know what I mean? But if you ask me, in the small sample of games that he played in this past season, he actually looked pretty decent. He looked serviceable. He averaged 8.8 points, 4.5 assists, and 2.8 rebounds on 40% shooting and 38 from three. So those aren't bad numbers for a backup point guard, man. I just think that he needs a larger sample size. He needs a larger sample size.
He needs a larger protein shake and put on some bulk, man.
On some weight.
Come on. True, does he look soft? He just looks soft. Like he doesn't have any definite. He doesn't look like an NBA athlete. He just doesn't. I don't know why. He just looks like some guy they pulled off the stands.
You know what? And not even to compare him to this guy in no way. But AI said he never lifted weights ever. Allen Iverson, he said he never lifted weights. So, sometimes, and then even look at players like KD. You know what I mean? Like he bulked up a little bit from when he first came into the league, but I don't necessarily think he has to get bigger. But as a matter of fact, a player like him, he maybe does have to because he isn't quick enough and agile and all that stuff. So. Yeah. Getting away.
You're gonna have to learn to play defense, Cam, because we ain't got one this year. So
exactly. Up. Yeah, he has to do something.
Speaking of defense, man, play your favorite David Nwaba. Looks like he's gone, man. Garpax. You should have found a way to keep him. Yeah. I hope he still can for something. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about David Nwaba getting picked up by anybody else. Have you?
Not really. Just that I hear that Cleveland's interested, and when the offer was first rescinded, I heard that the Lakers and the Spurs were interested in bringing him in, but no dice. Nothing has happened. So,
yeah. And will this finally be the year? Hopefully, Cristiano Felicio, I hope that you have one hell of a first, leading up to the trade deadline, man. I want you to just go off.
Man, put down the big Mets. Put down the big Mets.
Brazilian Savage, man. He needs to join in on Savage Life. And then we need to trade him.
You said then trade him?
Yeah. We need to trade him. We need to make him go off and get rid of him. We can get so much better next year. Absolutely.
All right, so tell me this. How old is Cristiano Felicio? Do you know?
23, right?
Super young dude. All right.
Yeah.
Say he comes in and he picks up – he looks a lot better than he did last season. Say he's averaging 10 points a game and maybe around 8 boards or something like that. Would you rather keep the younger Felicio or Robin Lopez, the aging Robin Lopez?
If I'm going on stats, I'll keep Robin Lopez.
Keep Robin Lopez?
Yeah, because he's going to also help Wendell Carter Jr. along.
Mm-hmm.
Felicio, you think he's helping anybody? Besides just being a practice dummy for them to run a pick again?
No, not necessarily, man. I saw him trying to coach up some of the players in the summer league, but I don't know how much that did. But
yeah,
I don't know. I guess I'm just hoping and wishing, man, that this contract won't look so bad is all.
Then Zach LaVine walked over to those same players. Man, don't listen to anything he says. Getting rid of him at the trade deadline. Right? All right, so let's just do a rapid fire here. Other free agent signings, obviously the Lakers, LeBron. I'll say this, living in the LA area, they don't seem so impressed so far. So I think it's going to have to take effect where LeBron's going to actually have to do something here. Were you surprised at that? I wasn't.
Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. We all knew that one.
The thing that did surprise me, the Warriors bagged DeMarcus Cousins on a 1-year, $5.3 million deal. DeMarcus chasing a ring this year.
Man, that dude, that came out of left field. That was so wrong. But he is coming off of an Achilles injury, and big men usually never come back the same from that one. So
yeah,
we don't know, man.
Safe.
Yeah, we have to see.
All right, a shocker, Spurs-Raptors trade, Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan. Whoa, both these guys seem bitter about this trade. I'm wondering what's going to happen.
You know what? I'm hearing that Kawhi is actually coming around to the idea of playing in Toronto. So
yeah, until he gets that Canadian exchange rate for the money. I don't think it's going to be like, I'm not taking that 18 cut. No way.
You know what? I didn't even think about that, but that is a factor. So true. So true.
Oh, DeMar's loving it.
You know what? The Laker fans better hope that that's a factor.
Yeah. All right. Cleveland just re-signed Kevin Love to a 4-year, $120 million contract extension. Kevin Love's going to be the new face of the franchise, and people are saying he's going to be the best power forward in the East.
Isn't Giannis a power forward?
Yeah, okay. People are saying. I'm not saying people are right, but they're saying. Right?
Excuse me? And I just don't like the move for Cleveland. I think that they should just go into a full rebuild. It's not smart if you ask me.
Yeah.
But
Dwight Howard went to the Wizards. D12, hopefully you can make yourself disappear after this year. I don't know how this is going to be. I think you just got to check. That's all it is. But I don't know, man. Dwight Howard, you had so much potential, dude. But I don't know what it is, man. Is it motivation? Is it health?
It's motivation. I think it's motivation. He's fine with just being liked. I think he wants to be liked too much. He's fine with just being rich and playing basketball. He doesn't want to win.
I guess. Okay, the contract v 2.0, DeAndre Jordan finally agrees to go to Dallas again. He joins Dirk Nowitzki, who signs for one last year at $5 million. That's going to be interesting to see that tour going on with DeAndre Jordan and Dirk finishing it all out, huh?
Mm-hmm. Hey, second time's a charm, man.
We'll see what happens. Carmelo Anthony. 1 year, $2.4 million. Remember when we thought Carmelo Anthony was the answer to our championship dreams?
Oh, my God. We dodged a bullet. Oh, from a bazooka.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God. Thank God that didn't happen.
Thank you. Garpax, another one. I don't know why people rap on him. I'm starting to think that they're geniuses. Michael Beasley. Michael Beasley signed with the Lakers 1 year, $3.5 million to hold LeBron's towels. Marcus Smart re-signed with the Celtics. 4 years, $52 million. Man, I thought there was some hope that we might be able to get Marcus Smart. But
premium on defense.
Yeah. And a wild one. Tony Parker signed with the Hornets. 2 years, $10 million.
Very weird deal. See, Michael Jordan, he may be the greatest player of all time, but executive, I don't know, man. He's looking like he's at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, 2 years, $10 million. That's not that bad. Devin Booker signed an extension. Yeah, with the Phoenix Suns, 5 years, $158 million. My God, they're not going to have cap room for a long time. Robin's brother, Brook Lopez, signed with the Bucks, creating an interesting brotherly Bulls-Bucks rivalry that's going to go on to our neighbors to the north.
Should be fun.
Yeah, and Zaza Pachulia signed with the Pistons, joining Blake Griffin, and they are talking about Bad Boys 3.0.
I don't see it, but one can hope.
Hey, man, hopefully. Blake Griffin's got a hell of a right hook, as you know, by that guy that he punched a couple years ago. All right, the Bulls' preseason schedule was just announced. The first game is September 30th. Wise, check it out. Sunday, September 30th versus the New Orleans Pelicans. It's going to be the return, the rematch between Nikola Mirotic and Bobby Portis. The battle is on.
Hey, that should be one to see. Everyone has to mark this one on their calendar, man.
Yeah,
I think that hopefully Fred will give Bobby some nice tick, especially when Mirotic is in. I really want to see them go at it.
I do too. And Nico shaved his beard, so he's going to be harder to spot on the court like he used to be. Just look for the big floating beard that's avoiding passing the ball. But all right, Wednesday, October 3rd, the Milwaukee Bucks, the aforementioned Lopez brothers, will face off, and Jabari gets to go back to Milwaukee and face this old team. I'm sure that one's going to be pretty fun. Monday, October 8th, Charlotte Hornets. We're going to see Tony Parker and our first look at Miles Bridges. Mm-hmm. This is where the buyer's remorse is going to start setting in for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, October 10th, we got the Indiana Pacers. We got the Holiday brothers, pending if Justin Holiday is still on the payroll.
I like this kid, Aaron Holiday. I really want to see what he turns out to be. The Holiday family, they have some really nice genes, man.
You got to respect those families that got a lot going on in terms of NBA presence down the generations and brothers and all that kind of stuff. That stuff's going to continue.
Yep.
And then we got Friday, October 12th. That'll be the last preseason game versus the Denver Nuggets. And we might be able to see Michael Porter Jr. in his back brace. Huh?
Hey, man, I think you're going to anger a lot of MPJ fans. And a lot of them are Bulls fans, man. So,
all right. MPJ, prove me wrong, brother. Please prove me wrong.
Know what? I hope he doesn't. I know that that's bad to say, but I hope he doesn't.
Yeah. Sorry, MPJ. We're pulling for you.
I hope that he's a really good NBA player, but I just hope he's not better than WCJ.
Yeah. I hope WCJ dunks on him and breaks his back in the process just from the shock. His vertebrae just pops right back out again. Bobby Portis comes over and punches it right back into place. And he's healed. All right, that's going to do it for us. All of the links to get in touch with us are at bullspodcast.com/social.
We're at Bulls Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Come and join the conversation in all new Bulls Podcast Facebook group. Go to bullspodcast.com/Facebook and you'll be taken right to the group page where you can join and chat with us. We're just starting things out on social media, so your support right now is super critical. Please help us out with that.
The next show, we're going to to be giving a player-by-player rundown of the entire Bulls roster, listing out everything that we think they need to do to make improvements this season. And I'm going to play around with the trade machine. I know you are too. We're going to do some wild mid-season player trade proposals that might be kind of controversial, but they would be game changers for the Bulls roster, at least in our opinion. And you're going to get the predictions for which Chicago Bulls we think will make the All-Star team this year.
And just a quick reminder before we go, remember to subscribe to the podcast. Go to bullspodcast.com/subscribe for links to everything you need to get to know about the show, and it'll be delivered to you on a regular basis.
That's it for this episode. We will see you next time on the Bulls Podcast. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.